Along with Dick Versation, Chuck Daly, this is Bob Neal. Welcome to Key Arena in Seattle, Washington. Hope you enjoyed that Miami-New York thriller. We should have another good one for you coming up right here. This series is tied at 1 game apiece. Houston won the first one, 112-102. Seattle got Houston 2 nights ago, 106-101. And we are ready to get underway. And Chuck, in game 2, it was George Karl adjusting to Houston, coming up with the win. Game 3, the question is, what will happen for the Houston Rockets?
Well, the question is, what are they going to do about single coverage, get Hakeem Olajuwon off? And you're right, how they're going to react to the double teaming. George Karl got 1 step ahead in the second game. Let's see what the plan is. He wants to force him to dribble tonight more, and we'll see if it takes place.
Jack Nees, Danny Crawford, Jim Clark, sellout crowd of 17,072. Sean Kemp and Hakeem Olajuwon jumping at center court. We're underway from Seattle.
Bob, I think the real series starts tonight because they've had a chance to make adjustments, get ready for each other after the first round.
Hakeem Olajuwon with a nice steal on the drive by Hou Sea Hawkins. Maloney, boy, will that make him happy. This young man had only 1 field goal in game number 2, did not play the entire second half because of the pressure on the ball. But that 3 should help his confidence, which had fallen to an all-time low. But remember, he's a rookie. Sean Kemp answers quickly. 3-2 Houston.
Sean Kemp working the low post, did not take it to trouble, worked with the short hook and scored easily. Here's the pressure. Hawkins on Maloney.
Single coverage on Olajuwon. He gets the basket. No foul call. It is 5-2.
And they will go to Olajuwon to find out what the defensive strategy of the Sonics is for tonight's game.
And Perkins starting this game as he did in game number 2. An unusual move for George Karl because Perkins usually plays better against Olajuwon. Was called for the foul.
For the turnovers, we saw the graphic, 20 forced in the second game. Let's see where they go tonight.
5-4. Rockets leading by a point. Barkley to Drexler posting up. Drexler holding on to it. Ellie. 7 seconds. Barkley. Just barely drew iron. Hakeem Olajuwon comes away with a loose ball. Drexler. Houston still up by a point.
Yeah, Houston goes to Drexler. They like the thought of trapping him a little bit more. They felt he might throw the ball away, and there he turned it over again.
Clyde Drexler, first personal.
Detlef Schrempf, a slight height advantage, more comfortable in the low post. That time backs his man in and goes up and under to make sure he drew the foul on Drexler. Early on, Drexler, Barkley missing badly from the outside.
Schrempf's numbers in the playoffs.
Detlef Schrempf missing the first free throw, an 80% career, or at least a season shooter. Outstanding free throw shooter.
Not that trip. 9:53 to go first quarter. Rockets by a point. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Hou Sea Hawkins on Maloney. Payton is playing Drexler. Maloney off the drive, turns it over.
He had 4 in the first game, and that's where they want to attack the Houston Rockets, where perhaps everyone should have been attacking them all year. Everyone questioned the point guards and the ability to get the ball in play. Maloney has done an outstanding job during the year. He'll be tested in this particular series.
Payton inside to Kemp. Interior defense, tough.
Officials allowing contact in the lane, particularly on that play, and that's playoff basketball, although in this particular series, the playoffs, fouls are up.
Maloney, now Not this time. Barkley. His rebounds are down, and he loses the rebound again. Barkley struggling on the boards in this series. Kemp from only 6 feet away. Barkley gets that one.
And the Sonics, notice they're trying to force the Houston Rockets to dribble. That's the key word. Make them dribble to try shots. Don't let them stand still.
Olajuwon, who did not make a shot outside of 6 feet away from the hoop in game number 2, and we have an illegal defense call against the Sonics.
A little hesitation there by Hakeem. Looks like he had a shot that years gone by would have taken. And George Karl made a very good point. He does not want hesitation from his players. Shoot the basketball when you're open. Don't think about it.
New 24-second clock. Wanted to get it into Olajuwon early. There's the long arms of Sam Perkins. Perkins has always been a thorn in the side of Houston, even when he played on other teams. It's been a while since they scored, Chuck. Still 5-4.
Neither club shooting well. A little bit tight. The Rockets come in here. They need to win one game here to get the home court advantage back.
There's Clyde Drexler. That's one way to get it to the hoop. 7-4 Rockets. Leaking out. Trent. Easy lay-in.
Well, Drexler goes. He goes. The backcourt has got to pick him up until Drexler could get back here. That's the responsibility.
That's a triple. And Drexler has 5. He's got the crowd out of it for the moment.
Drexler, the leading scorer, 23 points.
Turnover from Payton. Here is Maloney. Drexler. Drexler has 7 from Matt Maloney. This is a different looking Matt Maloney than we saw in game number 2.
Yeah, everybody was concerned about his confidence, but he's played so many basketball games with this team, and he's been under pressure before.
Yeah, he started all 82, even though he's a rookie. The other thing to remember is he's a nearly 27-year-old rookie. That's a triple from Shrimp.
And we're seeing the Rockets a little bit more aggressive defensively. At least they are than over the second game. Much different club.
Detlef has 7 early. Olajuwon. Kemp gets the rebound. Sonics down by 3. Payton working on Ellie. Good body position for Ellie. Forced him to miss the shot. Olajuwon out to Barkley. Charles has yet to score. Yes, he has a one basket. And we have a timeout on the floor. 12-9 Rockets. Welcome back. 3-point Houston lead here with this series tied at 1 game apiece. And Chuck, we talked about adjustments early in the game. It looks as though Matt Maloney's confidence isn't down, and yet we still don't see the double team on Olajuwon that we had expected.
Well, partially the fact is that the Sonics are missing shots and they're getting out running, which allows them to get into the running game. The double team hasn't come on Hakeem. When he gets to the dribble, they're coming. Key factor in this game, and the thing to watch is they want to make them dribble and keep them. The Sonics want to keep them off the left side of the floor. They haven't done a real good job of it this far.
3-point Houston lead. Maloney 3 points, 2 assists already early in this ball game. Sedale Threet came in and played for their point guard the entire second half in the loss for Houston down there in Houston. Drexler inside with a nice pass to Olajuwon and 1. You know, Drexler leads this Rockets team in assists.
Houston executing much better tonight. That time Barkley was going to feed Drexler, fed him. He got away and they double team. Let's take a look at it. Here he feeds Drexler, got caught topside. Perkins comes, but Olajuwon squeaks into the weak side and gets an easy layup and fouled.
Tremp picks up the personal, his first, and it's a 15-9 Rockets lead. Biggest of the game so far. 6:20 to go, first period. Tremp backing Drexler in. Tremp and Drexler both having good early starts. That's 9. 4 out of 4 is Detlef from the floor, including the triple.
Tremp averaging about 16 in the first 2 games, or at 16.
Here's Barkley against Kemp. wants the double team, but they're not going to give him a double team until he has to have it.
Waiting for it. They're happy to play him straight up, make him hit shots over the top.
Barkley 0 for 2. 15 on the shot clock. Seattle ball. Perkins. Picked up by Maloney. On the run, there's Barkley cherry picking, and he gets his first hoop of the night.
They had 3-on-1, getting out in the open court on misses, and something that the Sonics are going to have to react to. One of the ways is to score.
Olajuwon called for the foul.
Score or get to the foul line. You get to the foul line, you stop transition.
The Sonics couldn't get to, as we look at this Charles Barkley lay-in, the Sonics couldn't get to the free throw line in game number 1. They only had 32 free throws. But in game number 2, between the two teams, 65. So the Sonics definitely got to the free throw line, as did Houston in game number 2.
Well, in the overall in the two games, the Rockets have gotten there 51 times. The Sonics only 46. Sonics shooting 89%, however, to 72 for the Houston Rockets.
4-point Rockets lead. 5:20 to go, first period. Drexler. Kemp will run it down.
We're going to a little bit. The Rockets are going to a little bit more pick and roll.
Hawkins misses the leaner. Barkley with the rebound. They're going to run. Has Ellie on the left. Drexler on the right. Inside to Mario Ellie's foul.
Both clubs a little impatient, taking long-range shots, not working with their offense, and it's showing actually in the shooting. And actually the Rockets are getting to the open floor, running in transition. Sonics not matching up, and consequently the Houston Rockets are getting to the free throw line.
Houston Rockets, by the way, are the best road team in the regular season in the Western Conference. 27-14, plus they split a pair during the regular season with Seattle here. Wingate gets his first appearance of the night. You see in the playoffs he's averaging about 16 minutes a game. Detlef Schrempf getting a rest. He has an excellent start in this game.
Yeah, kind of a surprising substitution, because he is the one guy that has played, I thought, very well, both offensively, a little bit slow defensively. I think he wants to bring Wingate in for defensive transition.
Perkins looking for Payton, but Ellie's got him pushed all the way out here at the three-point line. Mario Ellie, tough defender. 14-footer from Kemp. Rebound Wingate. Sonics ball, 21 on the shot clock, and Terry Cummings is going to come in for Sam Perkins. This is the combination center that George Karl is going with. Cummings had started at center previously in the playoffs for Seattle, and now we get Perkins starting. But between the two of them, nice production. Look at that, 23 points, 11.5 rebounds. Foul on him. And that's his second. Schrempf, by the way, is on the bench, Chuck. One of the reasons he's probably sitting down early is he's got two, and now Ellie does also.
Well, Ellie fouled out in the last game, and that really hurts this Houston Rockets club. Houston shooting 7 for 13, 54%. Seattle 5 for 12, 42%. Big problem. They missed some wide open shots.
Eddie Johnson, you see his playoff numbers quickly there, comes in as Ellie sits down with his 2 personal fouls. Eddie Johnson used to play with Seattle and Indiana, then kind of took a coffee cup stop at Denver and signed with Houston as a free agent late in the season. Sean Kemp went up and down, but they're going to say that somebody got their hands on the ball, so it's not a travel. It'll be a jump ball. Had to be one or the other.
There's some discussion among the officials. It looks like they agree that it's Sonics ball. Obviously, the Rockets want a jump ball.
Well, either went up and down, or somebody had their hand on the ball. Nevertheless, 19-13 Rockets with 4:18 to go in the first period. Payton driving, Olajuwon getting over to help out. Drexler on Payton now since Ellie went out. Olajuwon, nice lead to Eddie Johnson. Out of bounds, off Seattle, 20 on the shot clock. Excellent defensive play down there by Hou Sea Hawkins.
coming from behind, and that's what coaches like. A lot of coaches in the business. Pitino is one, coming from Kentucky to Boston. Loves deflections, love those kind of plays, coming from behind, really working and staying in the defense.
Was that a nice move by Olajuwon to get open, and then he missed the layup. Good eye contact between Olajuwon and Barkley results in nothing. Payton. Olajuwon calls him to alter that shot. Akeem definitely playing with more passion early in this game than he did in game number 2 and 1 for Eddie Johnson.
Great cut and pass by Barkley, and a great save of the ball to get it up on the glass. Payton's the problem. 0 for 4 for the Sonics, not getting anything down. Here's that play. Inside, catch, watch the quick release. Barely gets it enough glass to get it in. Maybe
a little bit of a guide on the on the defensive end there. Eddie Johnson gets a three-pointer out of this.
An unusual start for Gary Payton. He's a terrific offensive player, but going to the post is going to be a problem for him because of Drexler's size and long arms.
22-13, Rockets by 9. They're on a 7-2 run. 8 on the shot clock for Seattle. Cummings working against Kevin Willis, who just checked in. Rebound Barkley. He has 5 boards already, as we were telling you that Charles Barkley has not rebounded well in this series, but there's another missed layup. It's going to be Houston ball. Matt Maloney, who did not play in the second half.
Very aggressive, takes it the ball to the hole here, misses an easy shot, and then the Sonics not rebounding it and losing control.
Timeout, Houston. Rockets up 9.
You probably noticed that Matt Maloney, very aggressive to start this game. He has not played well in game 2. He did not play well, and inside sources from the Rockets camp saying the kid was losing his confidence. Obviously, they came out and said something to him. 3 points, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Also, in warm-ups today, they were working against pressure, as Matt Maloney worked against pressure to get ready for what the Sonics would do to him.
Very quickly, thank you, Dick. Very quickly, Barkley gets it into Drexler, and this is an 11-point Rockets lead. The crowd here asking for something from the multiple personality disorder Seattle Sonics. Those are the words of their coach. Johnson with the rebound off the miss.
Well, they're shooting 5 for 17, 31%, but the problem is that they're settling for long-range jumpers, and they're going to work Drexler on this Willis this time, but Drexler on that open side, direct post-up.
Jump hook from Kevin Willis. Barkley is there for the offensive board. Charles Barkley is playing very much differently in this game, too. He's averaging 7 rebounds in the previous 2 games. He has 7 already. Pump fake. Barkley. He's not shooting it well tonight, but he certainly has been cleaning the boards. It's been nearly 5 minutes since the Sonics have scored a field goal.
A much more determined Houston Rockets club. They understand the danger. They need to get a win here in Seattle.
That one rolls around, but Payton tips in the Kemp miss. That's Payton's first field goal.
Yeah, Kemp 1 for 6, Payton 1 for 5. Not enough from the 2 superstars.
Drexler with the penetration to kick out to Maloney. 15 on the shot clock, minute 40 in the period. Here's Matt Maloney. That's a triple. He's had 2 tonight. What a comeback for this rookie.
Hawkins putting pressure on, forcing him one way, trying to force him to the middle. He faked middle and went right to the middle. He's going to get that shot all night long.
They doubled off Wingate, daring him to hit the 3, and David does. 27-18 Rockets, minute 17.
The Rockets started this way in game 1 and game 2, but kind of lost momentum physically. Let's see if they can sustain it tonight.
Barkley isolated against Kemp with a nice pass to Drexler. They wanted a foul as Wingate rode him out of bounds. Payton working the paint. He's deadly down there. Cummings comes away with a big offensive board. 49 seconds in the period. Barkley on Kemp. Now Barkley on Payton, who goes for the reverse.
bench so upset with that particular call. Here's Kemp giving it to Payton on the baseline. Goes, and he says he got hacked. The official made the call.
Yeah, it looks like Willis did get him on the arm. Kevin Willis, first personal. Our officials are Jack Neese, Dan Crawford, and Jim Clark tonight. 27-20 Rockets now with 37 seconds to go in the period.
And the entire bench coaching staff for the Rockets up. Got to be careful. Don't get too emotional over one call.
Payton's been Mr. Consistency. He's averaging 23-3 in the playoffs, 23 a game versus Houston in their previous two, and it's a 6-point Rockets lead. They had built it to 11.
And here comes Seattle with much more aggressive. Double the ball outside. This is what they did in game 2 and were so successful.
Eddie Johnson. Defensive man fell down. Wingate went to the floor, and Eddie made him pay. Eddie Johnson, an outstanding scorer. He's not a good three-point shooter, but anything inside about 20, and Eddie Johnson is excellent on the perimeter, which is why they have him on this Houston team. He has 5 here tonight. 5 seconds in the period. It'll be a tough shot for somebody. Wingate. That did not beat the buzzer. So the Rockets hold the Sonics to only 21 in the first period. 29-21. And look at the Sonics shooting. If it wasn't for Shrimp, they'd be really in a big hole. So an interesting start here as the Rockets and the Sonics are tied at 1 game apiece. Today would be a good day to sell real estate in Seattle, Washington area. 70 degrees, crystal blue, Mount Rainier in the background on the shores of Puget Sound. What a beautiful part of the country, particularly this time of year. 29-21, Rockets opening moments, second quarter. Jack Neese got a foul that quickly against Gary Payton, his first.
Well, shooting-wise in the first quarter, Houston shoots 50%, Seattle 35%. Fast break points, Houston 12, Seattle 2, transcended by the 35% shooting, allows Houston to get in the open court.
Drexler's going to take it all the way down inside. Bad pass out. He was looking for Johnson or Maloney on the wing, and Shrimp comes away with it. He has 9 already before he had to sit down with his 2 fouls. Perkins, who started, also didn't play much. Another Seattle turnover. That's 3. Eddie Johnson to Drexler. You can see Clyde Drexler really kind of runs things despite the fact they say Matt Maloney is the point guard. Eddie Johnson way out of his range, but Wingate was there and he leaked out after the long-range shot, which results in the Shrimp lay-in. That's 11 for Denver.
Now, Shrimp was 5 for 5, left in the first quarter because of 2 personals. And the previous possession, both Perkins and Cummings passed up shot, very hesitant.
Now the double team comes to Olajuwon. That opens up the 3 from Maloney. Misses it this time. Wingate has Payton all alone. Touchdown pass for Gary Payton. He missed the crip shot.
But he's so quick, he runs it down. And he is having a very difficult game scoring-wise and shooting. He's 2 for 8.
Wingate left alone. They're doubling off of Wingate, and he's made him pay with 2 triples already. Now the crowd into it. The 17,072 in the renovated new building here, Key Arena, just under the Space Needle. Maloney. Missed 2 in a row now. Long misses. And it's a 3-point game. Nobody saw Payton. He jams it. It's a 1-point game. Rudy T doesn't like that. He gets a timeout. Payton had the entire lane, and it's a 7-0 Sonics run. Payton has 7. 29-28 Rockets by only a point. One of the reasons the Sonics are on a 7-0 run is shown right here.
Look at the Houston Rockets walking into position very slowly. Look a little tired. Here comes Maloney off of Hakeem for a long-range 3. Doesn't go. Watch carefully what happens. Watch carefully. Payton gets the ball and hold it right there. Hold it. Look here. Look here. Who's going to pick him up? Wide open to the basket.
Play back in. Sonics within a point. 3 is now in for Maloney. With the ball to Ellie, punched away by the glove. Gary Payton saved by Ellie. Shot clock down to 7 seconds, however. Looking for Willis. 2 seconds. He did not get the shot away. Willis didn't know the shot clock had run down. Dick Versace, what do you have for us?
I just came out of the Houston huddle. Rudy T comes over. He tries to calm everybody down. All of a sudden, everybody's talking to everybody else saying, no easy baskets, no easy baskets. Back to the table.
Thank you. 29-28. Payton gets an easy basket.
Well, we know the talent of Gary Payton. He'll miss 5 shots in a row, but this guy can really play and defend. Gets caught there for a reach-in foul.
Seattle gets their first lead, and that's 2 on Gary Payton.
2 on Payton, 2 on Detlef Schrempf. Could play a role in this game.
There's the quick double team to Olajuwon. That leaves Ellie open. And the tip back from Eddie Johnson to Kevin Willis for the lay-in. Rockets back into the lead. Nice play by the veteran Eddie Johnson.
They're going to go this Detlef Schrempf matchup on Eddie Johnson. They think he can take him and score.
Got a foul before. The illegal defense was the call before the shot. That's the first, so it'll be inbounded on the near sideline. New 24-second clock. 9:07 to go in the half. Rockets led by 11. Sonics came back and took the lead. Rockets up by 1 now. That was a bullet for Cummings. He had to protect himself to catch it.
Cummings a little bit hesitant tonight offensively.
Ellie goes down, and fortunately for him, Payton misses, and we've got a foul in the backcourt after the big rebound. Ellie's all right. Wingate called for the first personal. Score from the earlier game tonight, in case you did not see it, it was right down to the wire. That is that Miami beat New York 88-84, evening that series. Hardaway with that big runner in the lane late in the game, which was, I agree with Doc Rivers, the key shot there for the Miami win.
Goodell 3 going one-on-one, getting in the lane on Wingate. Wingate has to reach from behind and fouls him.
He has 2 also. Does David Wingate. As Sadale Threet steps to the line. Threet signed late in the season as a free agent. He's been kind of playing himself back into shape, and that's his first free throw of the playoff series. Also, Sean Kemp sitting on the bench for the moment. Sean has played 11 minutes, has 4 points and 3 rebounds and 3 assists for Seattle tonight.
Well, the
Rockets lead.
Yeah, the Sonics very patient club. We've seen a number of times this year. They're not afraid of being down. And obviously the Rockets are a veteran club, but they feel like they're on the ropes a little bit, maybe a little bit more excited when they get down.
Trying to post up Perkins. Willis, intense. That's what Willis did in the first game. Wingate finally throws up a prayer of a 3. Back tip comes into the hand of Payton. He's fouled by 3. Here's that defensive intensity that they signed Kevin Willis for.
Working defensively, fronting the post. There's a chance to get a lob, but there was a lot of pressure on the ball. We can't see it outside. Overplaying, getting that hand in the passing lane, making it very tough to get off a decent shot. But Payton does his job inside. A dangerous offensive rebounder, even though he's one of the smallest people on the floor.
Perkins sits down. Kemp comes back in. Speaking of Kevin Willis, I can hardly believe this. He's finishing his 13th year in the NBA.
What? No. You've been watching him for a long time, but it tells you something about age or whatever you want to call it.
Michigan State player. Payton has 11 points and has scored the last 6 Seattle points. They're down by 1 after that Houston turnover.
Another trap by the Sonics, running 2 guys at the ball handler, forcing the ball out of his hands, and then the Rockets took a very tough quick shot.
Schrempf. And in the mixture of the pick, Eddie Johnson got ripped away, leaving him for the open shot. Rockets by a point. Up and under. Keene draws the foul.
Doing what he does best, catching the ball in the post. Always has had a new move. Great moves. This time watch carefully here. You'll see a little trap. Here comes Detlef Schrempf, designated trapper. Throws it. Quick shot. a shot he can make, but a very quick shot and a very bad shot as it turned out.
Hakeem Olajuwon, 77% free throw shooter. Charles Barkley on the bench right now. Career playoffs. Numbers you see, and those numbers have been declining for Hakeem Olajuwon, particularly since the 2 championship years. He has to share the shots and the ball more now that Drexler and Barkley are on this team. Into Kemp. Easy layup.
Kemp working the low post, got the defensive man top side. Once you get it top side, and you can take the ball toward the baseline and get the pass, and you've got a great opportunity to score an easy layup.
That was not a good pass by Sadale Threet, and the 5th Houston turnover. Sonics forced 20 turnovers for 24 points in game number 2. What an intense defensive team. Cummings thought about it, but Olajuwon caused him to rethink it. 6 on the shot clock. Punched away by Willis, who broke away, and then the Sonics with a good backcourt answer there. Yeah, Rudy T about went crazy on Jack Neese. That was a funny scene. Jack Neese signaled that it was Seattle's ball right in front of Rudy. Rudy goes wacky, and he says, okay, it's Houston ball. We're getting a timeout. Let's see if we can see it here after the ball goes out of bounds over here.
Step from behind. Detlef Schrempf trying to pick it up. Goes out of bounds, kind of gets bumped, and then it goes the other way. But you're right, Rudy, very excited.
35-34 Houston. 7:02 to go in the second quarter. Tomorrow, the NBA on NBC. The Chicago Bulls try to regroup at Atlanta, then Jazz at Lakers, starting with showtime at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow on NBC.
Second quarter shooting, Seattle 5 for 9, Houston 1 for 6. Hawkins in this game 0 for 1 and 1 assist.
Game 1, Hersey Hawkins had a very poor first half, you may recall. It was not till late in the game that he scored at all. Olajuwon fouled on the jump hook. That's going to be on Terry Cummings, his second personal.
One of the things that the Sonics defense does when they come out and double team, they force a change in tempo for the Rockets, and I think it creates a little problem. This Rockets team is so used to the methodical game, catching it, double team, but when they change that posture, makes it more difficult for them to score.
And that's about as clearly as you can define these two teams. Houston methodical, Seattle frenetic. 36-34, Rockets by 2, 6:47 remaining in the first half. We're telling you about Hakeem Olajuwon's points going down. They particularly go down against Seattle. He only averaged 12.5 points in each game in the regular season. As you see Tim Gergridge doing some sideline coaching. 9 points for Hakeem in this game tonight. Eddie Johnson has a difficult defensive matchup for himself here with Schrempf. He got the double team. Peyton just barely drew iron. Dick Versace, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, throughout the playoffs, as Hersey Hawkins has gone, so have the Sonics gone. However, if you remember, he had 12 points to end game 1 in this Houston series, 13 points in the first quarter of game 2. Tonight, 0. Back to the table.
Thanks, Dick. Sadale Threet has the lane left open. That was almost a deja vu of the Gary Payton open lane for Seattle earlier. Rockets lead back up to 5.
Well, the Sonics like to force the ball to the middle. Even though they have a shot blocker, they want to keep it away from that left side, but they're giving the middle of the floor.
There's the double on Kemp with Barkley and Drexler. 5 on the shot clock. Cummings going to have to work for his own shot. It's tipped out of bounds. With 2 seconds, it'll be Sonics ball as Perkins comes back in.
Cummings, a very reluctant shooter tonight. Has been consistent all night, and here he's being replaced. Only 3 shots, but he's been wide open, but unwilling to take them.
Perkins gets in. Perkins started in the game there. There was no time to get that shot away as Drexler was right in the face of Detlef Schrempf. And the turnover story now is even at 5 each. 5:55, speaking of fives, here in the second quarter. Sadale Threet's gotten a lot of minutes here in place of Matt Maloney. Had a good start to the game. Maloney played 14. Threet's been on the floor now about 5 minutes. Into Olajuwon. That's the dream shake move. I don't know that we saw that in game 2. If we did, I don't remember it. Detlef Schrempf leaps out, followed by Kemp. Foul. on Houston.
You're right. On the other end, the Houston Rockets are getting much better movement offensively and getting into some situations where it's harder to double team. Watch the dream right here. Fake. There's that fadeaway to the baseline. Deadly over the years.
That was Mario Ely's third personal foul, Chuck. He's in foul trouble again.
Really upset, and they need him defensively and offensively.
7-point Houston lead. Shrimp backing in the shorter by Drexler. Rebound Olajuwon.
Olajuwon controlling the defensive board, not allowing second shots.
Keem has 6 rebounds already to go with his 9 points. Barkley finds Maloney, who's back into the game. Drexler on the pull-up jumper. Perkins gets the board. 5 minutes to go in the half.
Barkley serving basically as a decoy there to draw the double. They swing it, get a good shot for Drexler.
Kemp working down low, batted away by Olajuwon, but first the foul is going to be called on Barkley. That's his first. Crowd's on him as Barkley walks over to talk to the crowd. See the little push in the rib cage.
Rudy goes berserk on that. Thought it was a great block.
It was a great block.
No question.
It was also a great body punch. And Charles is talking to Jack Nees right now. You see him. Jack Nees is standing over here on the near sideline. Emotional Charles Barkley. Couldn't get the ring in Philly. Denied in Phoenix. Now he's going for it in Houston.
He not only talked to Nees, he talked to Clark and Crawford. He got all 3 of them. No one was spared.
And the fans. And the fans and Wally Walker. Seattle's GM. Maybe Bill Gates will talk to him. He's here tonight. Kemp. What a nice play. Steal behind the back pass. Save. Out to Hawkins to Payton. Perkins. Oh, the crowd wanted that. They were anticipating a 3. And he really threw up a brick. Freak's pull-up jumper is a 2. He stepped on the line. Big bucket, though. And the Rockets lead it 43-36. Perkins defended by Barkley. Double from 3 to open man's going to be Payton. Struggling from out there.
They're all struggling, and there's
3 with a big play off of Payton. Veteran play.
very veteran play, real experience. What a great play. Watch this. Goes up into the air, has no possession, bounces it off of Payton out of bounds, making sure he was not in the way of that basketball, so it goes back to him to a turnover.
There's that fadeaway baseline shot from Olajuwon. Somebody had to tell him, Akeem, you got to go to that. It's your money. He has 13.
Well, what they're getting is you are not able to get to the double team because he's so spaced on the baseline and so far away from the defense.
Kemp left alone down low as Olajuwon went out, but look how fast Akeem got back. Kemp. Tough shot by Sean. He has 10.
And the clock winding down on that one.
Maloney. Now here's that pressure we didn't see until just now in the backcourt. Olajuwon gets the pass from Maloney. Normally, generally straight up, Hawkins plays Maloney as Maloney is playing Hawkins. Kemp with a jam.
And the Sonics running right back at him. And here you'll see the Houston Rockets walking. And Rudy Tomjanovich doesn't like it. He says, I'm going to take a 20, get me some rest for my guys.
Kemp has the last 8 Seattle points, 12 in the game. So Payton switched off Maloney to try to apply some ball pressure, and Maloney burned him on that one by passing the ball in outside to Akeem Olajuwon. We have a 47-40, 7-point Rockets lead. That 20 has been changed to a full timeout now, and we'll take one likewise.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection.
Houston up by 7. 34-year-old Akeem Olajuwon has had to share the glory after the championship years when Drexler and then Barkley were added to this team. Tonight, though, he's in charge once again. 15 points in 17 minutes.
Going to take a little rest here. They're up 7 with 2:53 to go. Probably rest him through the remainder of this quarter, get him into the halftime, give him as much as possible. 3 for 3 jumpers, facing the basket, getting out of the low post, which he hasn't done any of during the course of these playoffs thus far.
And gets him a little bit away from the long arm of Sam Perkins, whom you just saw right there. 47-40 Rockets, 2:43 to go in the first half. Barkley against Kemp. Threet. Rims it out of there. He should get about a point and a half. That ball went down that deeply. 2.5 to go in the half.
Houston 3 for 12 on 3. Seattle's 3 for 10.
10 to shoot. Barkley stripped it away. Fallen on by Drexler. Willis is down low. So is Barkley. Nice ball handling by Sedale Threet.
And there is no question who the aggressor is tonight. The Seattle Sonics are finding a hard way to go to get any kind of rhythm offensively and getting a lot of turnovers because of the aggression by the Rockets.
Kemp missed the lay-in, but he was fouled by Sedale Threet. You see a lot of passes being deflected by Houston, stepping into the lane. And Chuck, that's a very different Houston look than we've seen in game 1 or 2 defensively. Coming up at halftime, the Nike halftime report. Ernie Johnson, Reggie Theus, and Dominique Wilkins will bring you up to date on all the NBA. Dominique Wilkins should have been in the top 50, Chuck.
Certainly one of the great scorers of the game. Comes back this year. Has a great year in San Antonio. Believe is a free agent. Will be looking for work at better numbers than he got last year.
You notice how I drag you into my opinion there? I state the opinion and I say Chuck.
And I got to back it up.
I know, I like that. And I appreciate it. You got my back. You're my guy.
You're right, Bob.
Thank you. I had to beg for it. Minute 55 to go in the half. Rockets 49-42. Kemp has 14. Seattle only shooting 39%. Houston at 50% in this game.
There was a double team again. Almost turned it over. Ends up with a short clock.
8 to shoot. Drexler backing Hawkins down. Got the double team. Kick ball. Well, that's a big break. That'll give him another 24. With 1:35 to go in the half.
And Drexler pointing out to Jack Nees, watch for that illegal defense. Make sure if they're going to come, they come all the way.
You see, generally, Hersey Hawkins is matched up one-on-one on Maloney. It's when Payton steps away from his man to double team that Maloney often gets in trouble. Speaking of double team, that's a triple team for Drexler. Kept alive by Barkley. Rebounded by Willis. Drexler missing again. Barkley with the loose ball again. Charles is really commanding the boards. 9 first-half rebounds for Charles Barkley. Kemp fouls it. Both teams over the limit.
Here's the shot. You can't see Drexler. Kemp, they're trying to keep him off the board. 2 guys, and he splits them both, throws one aside, and retains the ball.
So Shawn Kemp picks up his first personal. Barkley goes over to the scoring table in front of George Karl to put some talc on his hands and to have a comment to his buddy George.
Kemp almost a frustration foul because it was 20 feet from the basket at least.
Charles hits his free throw. You know, George Karl and Charles Barkley are good friends. They play golf. They spend time together. But George has adopted, I'm not talking to you, to Charles during this playoffs. I mean, at any time.
It's hard not to with a Chuckster because he talks to everybody all night long.
He walks right over to George Karl and talks to him. George doesn't say a word back. 51-42. Rockets back up to 9. They've led by as many as 11. Minute to go in the half. Kemp with the double team. Payton. Threet fell down, and Payton had the open look on the little 6-footer. Gary Payton, after a very slow start, has 13 points.
The Sonics searching a little bit. Went to a play they haven't used all night to try to get some action offensively that works for them.
10 on the shot clock, 39 in the half. Kevin Willis toughed out here in this jump hook.
Gets it, no double team, and he'll make that all night long. Big and strong. Cummings reluctant. Cummings reluctant.
Of course, Willis is so intense on defense. Wouldn't anybody be? Tipped away. There's another Houston deflection. 12 seconds in the period. 3 bounced it off of Detlef Schrempf's hand. So Schrempf will get an assist there. Goodness, everything going Houston's way. 11-point lead again. Freed has 8 points off the bench. He's playing with Maloney now. Barkley with his 10th rebound of the half. This is a very different Houston team. What a difference. In game 1, it was Houston with the threes. In game 2, it was the adjustment by George Karl and the defensive intensity of the Seattle Sonics. And here in game 3, it's been the defense of the Rockets to give them a 12-point lead.
They have played 24 minutes at Key Arena. Change of venue in this series. Rockets on top of the Sonics, 55-44. In Atlanta, it's time for the Nike halftime report. Ernie Johnson joined by Reggie Theus and Dominique Wilkins. Houston lost the home court advantage, Neek, at their place. They come up here. They're leading by 11 in great contributions. Guys like Sadeo Threet really getting it done.
Sadeo Threet has really done a great job this half. He's gotten the ball where it needs to be, gotten people in the flow, and hadn't made many turnovers, and Houston is playing very aggressive on defense.
Hey, they're going at the traps. Houston Rockets are doing it all over the place. Tough defense, 14 fast break points. They got it going on all cylinders.
And they're up by 11 points at the break. Meantime, New York and Miami played game 2 in their Eastern Conference semifinal tonight. Pat Riley got his Coach of the Year hardware before the game, and the Knicks jumping on him. Allen Houston for 3. They're up 17-9. Larry Johnson going to work in the paint. It's 32-22. Knicks over Miami, trying to take a 2-0 lead in this series. And then Tim Hardaway starts going nuts.
Bang.
Three-pointer. Reggie, check out this move from the wing. First, I like the John Starks Reggie Theus acting school, but check
flop.
this out.
You think you got me? No, you don't, fellas.
Tim Hardaway going nuts late in the quarter and then beats the buzzer. And it's a 6-point halftime lead for the Heat over the Knicks. They extend the lead in the third quarter. Alonzo Mourning 24 and 13. Then Patrick Ewing goes on a little run of his own. He scores 10 straight New York points. And Pat Riley is in trouble. Ewing for 2 more. And then the sweep move to the baseline and gets the roll. Now check this out. Down 1. Hardaway takes matters into his own hands. They're up 1. And again, the lead is 1 for Miami. New York got to have a stop in Jamal Mashburn. It's the only 3-pointer he took all night long, and he drained it. 88-84. Miami evens the series with the Knicks, 1 apiece as they go back to New York. Tim Hardaway, 34 points to lead the Miami attack. Here he was after the game.
Coach said, yesterday he was mad at us. We was mad at ourselves because they came in bumping, pushing, shoving us, and we didn't fight back. And tonight we fought back. We did things that we needed to do to win the game.
Indeed they did. Tim Hardaway, game 1 he had 21 points. Game 2 he had 25 in the first half alone, en route to 34. And he's the guy who made him go tonight. Tim Hardaway sends the series back to New York, tied up at 1 game apiece. How do you see it going from here? New York did what they had to do, Nick. They won a game down there.
They did, but Hardaway and Crotty did an excellent job tonight of executing on offense. Hardaway goes out of his mind, hitting all the threes. Crotty gets key buckets. They both played a big part of them getting this win.
Hey, it's just a classic bump and grind series. I love the way they're just getting in there and mixing it up. Zoe and Pat, who's going to be in the game, who's going to be in foul trouble. And then, like Nick said, Crotty and Tim Hardaway down the stretch. John Crotty played the whole 4th quarter, getting that left-hand jumper going. And then the penetration and the kick to Mashburn. Big play.
And don't forget the contributions Ike Austin made off that Miami bench, too. Pat Riley getting great efforts tonight as they tie that one up at a game apiece. Back with more on the Nike halftime report in just a minute. Charles Barkley, not a big scoring half, 6 points, but he does have 10 boards. And the Houston Rockets have a 55-44 lead. There's that man Sadeo Threet with the feed. Rockets have an 11-point lead in Seattle at the break as the Nike halftime report continues. Ernie Johnson back here with Reggie Theus and Dominique Wilkins. What a pleasure it has been over the last 2 nights to have Dominique in here with his old teammate Reggie Theus. Here, a couple of guys, both rank in the top 30 in scoring all time in the NBA. They've put the ball up more than 36,000 times combined in their career. They have scored more than 45,000 points, and they were teammates at one point. And they didn't always look like this. No, once upon a time, they looked like this.
Oh, my God.
We dug through the archives to come up. Reggie, I don't even know how to describe that look. And maybe Nick, you might have a better...
Johnny Mathis with a mustache.
Oh, okay. Okay, how about Kid and Play over here?
Johnny Mathis with a mustache.
Mr. High Top Fade.
But you guys remember those days fondly. I assume one season together in Atlanta.
Oh, unbelievable.
That was a long season.
All I know is I didn't get a shot.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a shot.
It was a pleasure having you in here.
Only thing I can remember is, Mike, get Reggie out the game. He won't give me the ball.
The trash talk continues here in our Atlanta studio. Nick, it's been great having you.
My pleasure.
Good luck to you down the road.
So when you get back to the dressing room, you gonna put that hair back on?
The Nike halftime report rolls right on here in just a minute. Hakeem Olajuwon doing that dream shake on the big smooth. They're up 11. Chances are... Oh, excuse me. Inside the NBA follows the Rockets and the Sonics. Vince Cellini and Jimmy Lynam spend a half hour in virtual land. Oh, my. For Reggie Theus and Dominique Wilkins, this is Ernie Johnson. Enjoy the third quarter. Rockets up 55-44. Here comes the garage.
That's a good shot of the Space Needle in the background and Key Arena. $85 million renovation. Increased seating from 14,800 to 17,072. And the story of this game has been Houston getting off to a great start, being able to stand the run and the comeback by Seattle. Houston led it by 11. Seattle came back, led by 1. Then Houston closed strong and now leads by 11 points. And my expert friend, what's your analysis of this Houston team tonight? They look very different than either game 1 or 2.
Much more aggressive defensively, really getting after people, giving up no easy shots. And Gary Payton, who played 47 minutes in the previous game, has already played 24 in the first half here, shooting 5 for 15. And when your point guard has taken the most shots, your club is usually in trouble because he's desperate at the end of clocks because of the aggression by the defense of the Houston Rockets.
No, it's an excellent point. Houston's defense definitely playing better tonight. Let's take a look at the statistical story. You see the Rockets shooting 50, and a testament to the Houston defense is the 39% by the Sonics. And look at the boards. Charles Barkley has 10. You see the points off the breaks and turnovers. Barkley has 10 rebounds in this game. Just moments ago, Dick Versace talked to George Karl.
George, are you happy with this tempo? Only 6 forced turnovers, and that's about a third of what you guys normally get.
Well, I'm happy with the speed of the game. They've scored in transition much too much. I don't know if it's our lack of run backs or just not finishing our offensive opportunities. But I think we got to keep running. But the big thing is offensively, we can't shoot 38%.
How about their energy levels? They're quite a bit more energetic tonight.
Yeah, they got to bounce, and I think that's a big part of the game right now. You know, if we're going to play fast, we're going to have to find some energy, some intensity from everybody.
All right, Coach. Thank you. All right, back to Bob and Chuck.
All right, Dick Versace, thank you. Hakeem Olajuwon, 15 points, 6 rebounds in the first half.
Fading away on the baseline, patting the shot, block shot, got called on a foul on that one, but he's done it all tonight, particularly the facing. He's moving around the court, getting much better shots, and energy is the name of the game tonight.
Hakeem does not have credit for any block shots. He had one big block, but it came after a Barkley foul. But he has 3 steals to lead everybody. And this is the kind of Hakeem Olajuwon we saw late in the year, but didn't see really in games 1 and 2. And he's already passed his season average against Seattle of only 12.5 points a game with his 15. There's Coach Karl and Coach Barkley.
And George smiled but wouldn't respond.
You see Seattle in the playoffs, and the average in the first half, they're scoring 58 points a game, only 44 here tonight. Once again, a testament to this Houston defensive team, something Houston is definitely not known for. Matt Maloney is going to open up with another 3 attempt. Drexler gets the rebound, but first he pushes off. And that's his second person.
And the Seattle Sonics come out with a full court action trap, maybe just on that opening possession. We'll see if they're going to extend the defense to try to make Maloney handle the ball and maybe get him to turn it over.
Rockets by 11. Biggest lead of the game for them, matching an 11-point lead earlier. Sean Kemp spinning, missing. Gets his own board. Foul called by Jack Neese. On Barkley. Olajuwon, and that's 2 on Olajuwon.
Kept checking his mouth. Must have gotten hit when he went back up the second time. 20 minutes, 26 touches. You can see it in the paint, 4 for 7. From the line, 6 for 6, total of 14 points. But he's struggling to get good shots tonight. Not getting them as easy as he did the other night.
He needs to get about 10 free throw attempts a game to keep him where he ought to be, meaning he's active inside and meaning the defense is having to work on him. This is his 7th and will soon be his 8th free throw attempt.
Well, he's not going outside. In the second game in particular, he went outside and faced and got some pretty easy shots and some good field goals. Tonight he's working with his back to the basket. Much tougher because Hakeem is really working defensively.
Kelly losing the handle and then re-gripping it. Now they're going to lob into Olajuwon. Sean Kemp comes to help out, and Olajuwon muscled it in.
Doesn't matter. And Hakeem on the way back looks to the official and says, take a look, he fouled me.
Some intensity from Kemp early. Olajuwon with his first official block of the game, and here is Maloney. Blows right past Payton.
Woo! What a crossover move. What
Have I ever seen that before? Maloney, who worked out here at half court prior to the game, we showed you video in the first half on his one-on-one moves. What a beauty.
Payton comes off the pick and roll on the right side, wide open and hesitant again, surprisingly, having a tough night shooting. And when you do that, you have a tendency to let up and don't go all out on the shot.
And now the biggest lead of the game for Houston. They lead by 13. 6 on the shot clock. The runner from Drexler. Drexler goes in and gets the rebound. Loose ball then to Olajuwon. Clyde Drexler has done so many intangible things in this series. Shot clock still at 15, a lot of time. Drexler's double clutch, and he's fouled on the shot attempt. And that's 3 on Detlef Schrempf.
Let's look at Maloney. Watch this crossover. You're not sure. Hey, how about this? Gary Payton, the glove, gets taken to the cleanup.
After the struggle handling the ball in game 2, Payton may have underestimated him a bit. He wouldn't be playing and starting 82 games, Matt Maloney, unless he was a pretty good basketball player. From Penn, and of course, Chuck, you haven't mentioned that yet tonight. You usually cover all the Penn players in the NBA.
I've been around so much, sometimes I forget where I've been.
Matt Maloney is what? He's one of about 10 or 12 Penn players in the NBA. I'm only kidding. Payton off the glass. 60-48, Rockets by 12.
And Payton putting on a one-man press, but they get the ball to Maloney, so they get the ball into position to try to dissect the Seattle Supersonics.
Olajuwon getting the double team. Out to Ellie. He's open. Missing the 3. Barkley rebounding for rejected by Sean Kemp off Barkley. Sonics ball. What a play by Sean. And then Kemp can't handle it, but saved it. Ellie defending Payton. Look at those moves.
Too much one-on-one, though, at the point guard. Not enough happening. Clock running down.
Yeah, 4. 3. You see it in the left corner. Perkins. Schrempf for the offensive board. New shot clock.
The minds of men play a great game in the second game. Come home and start believing, no problem, and you get into this kind of situation, and once you go on the court, you can't change your intensity.
That's 3 on Clyde Drexler. So both Schrempf and Drexler now with 3 personals, and the Rockets with a 12-point lead with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Seattle unable to find a consistent way to try to score. Haven't used much pick and roll on the wing. They've used some post-up, but no particular way to go to get some scoring. Therefore, they're struggling at the end of the clock all night long and shooting poorly.
Schrempf's 0 for 2 from the free throw line tonight. 89% free throw shooter in the playoffs until then. See his numbers, 11 and 3. Charles Barkley, who was disappointed in the way Houston won in game 1, came out, worked out afterwards. Everybody saw it on every network's highlights of working out right after the game. Then Charles did not score but 2 field goals in the second half of game 2.
And there he was kind of funning with the cameraman. He faked the pass out. He must like what's happening in this game. But it's a long way from over.
He was in a bad mood for game 2. Drexler's finger roll. Oh, wow. Clyde Drexler. Worth the price of the ticket. Shrimp left alone because Drexler couldn't get back down there after making the shot on the other end, nullifying my praise. 15 for Shrimp.
An old Boston Celtic trick. Score on me. I'm beat. I'm running out.
10 on the shot clock for Olajuwon against Perkins. Diagonal pass anticipated by Kemp. Look at him handle the ball. He's a power forward. Out of bounds off Ellie's foot. Almost forward handling the ball. Had Ellie not been back, he might have taken it all the way with it.
Watch carefully. They would have liked to have a score on this one. Here's the cross-court pass. Here comes Sean Kemp. Tries to take it all the way. Don't see it all, but it goes off his foot.
Ellie getting a pick from getting picked off the play by Kemp. And the basket by Payton, who has 17.
They've gone to that pick and roll on the right side, and Payton's come off free almost every time.
Maloney's penetration. Back tip comes to Drexler. 13 on the shot clock. That didn't hit the iron. Double team on the dream. Spins out of it. This is another Akeem and the foul that we saw in games 1 or 2.
Yeah, Perkins gets the double team, the help from Detlef Schrempf, who must be the designated doubler. But take a look at what happens when you are playing that postman. Don't let him go baseline. Your help's coming from the top, and he let him spins out of the trap, gets all the way to the basket, scores, and goes to the line.
And Perkins picks up his first personal. Akeem 7 of 9 tonight. He's hit his last 5. Look at his playoff average, 17.8, 19 tonight. Well, they have to have, you know, you can talk about Barkley and Drexler all you want, but without Akeem, they're not where they are.
The pillar of society and the way they've been able to play all of these years.
And the steal right on cue from Akeem. Rockets by 11. Halfway through quarter number 3. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Look at that give and go. That's out of a coaching book.
Beautiful move. They do that so much during the year. It makes it very easy. And the Sonics can't seem to stem the tide.
Oh, that's some hard falls down there. Both Drexler and Kemp go down hard. No foul call. They're just going to see that the ball will belong to the Sonics with a timeout being called.
Barkley and Kemp wrestling for the ball.
All right, I'm here with Bill Gates, a very big Sonic fan. What is your feeling about tonight's game?
We'll come back. We need a few more points. We're going to be okay.
All right, now let's say you're coaching this team. What would you be telling them at halftime?
Watch the fast break.
You know, that's funny because that's exactly what George Karl said. He was.
That's great.
All right, how about this conference that you had, the CEO conference in town? It was very exciting.
It's super to have 100 of the top business leaders here.
Anyone else here? Anyone special?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't the vice president here as well?
He came and gave a great speech. He's a big believer in technology, so it's a great speech.
Now, I'm one of the few basketball coaches in the country that knows what teledesis is. Tell us in about 15 seconds what it is.
We're going to use satellites to let everybody connect up to the internet, no matter where they live in the world.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of great engineering, but Boeing's going to help out on that.
How much money?
About $8 billion.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, back to you guys.
Dick Versace does it all. He not only talks basketball, he can talk computers with Bill Gates. Sean Kemp's already limping a little bit as he came up after that.
Yeah, Kemp trying to get to the basket, tripped.
Now that's big. 4 personals on Clyde Drexler. Eddie Johnson comes in.
Here's Shawn Kemp trying to get to the basket. Gets the trip and limping a little.
Back to him. The dream on him now. Got a little elbow in there and got the shot. Shawn Kemp working down on the low block.
You stressed the right word. He's really had to work hard to get any kind of shots or action in that low post.
18 for Kemp tonight. There's the drive and the dish. Maloney to Barkley.
They keep giving up the middle of the floor, and that's trouble.
Payton working in the lane. Barkley came to help out. Eddie Johnson defending Shrimp. It's a mismatch for Shrimp. And we've got a 2-shot foul.
Foul on a pass off.
On Eddie Johnson. Cummings is in. Perkins will sit down.
When Hou Sea Hawkins is quiet, the Seattle Supersonics have a hard time getting enough numbers. 6 minutes to go in the third. He's 0 for 2. They've only scored 56 points. He has got to come alive. They can't depend on Payton and Kemp and Shrimp to get enough because it's not happening tonight.
Don't look back to the line. There's Hou Sea Hawkins.
He has a tendency to disappear. I don't think he's one of those players that commands the ball. So you've got to run plays for him to get him involved, or he's got to be spotted up out of double teams, and it hasn't happened at all tonight. And that's one of the reasons they're struggling to get back in this game.
Sonics to within 9. Houston had led by 13. Olajuwon on the double team is going to take it down low again. Called for the travel. Turnover. Houston 8 turnovers, Seattle 8 turnovers with 6 minutes to go in the third period.
This is one of those games, both clubs playing very intense defense, very tough to get any kind of shot, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Shrimp with a triple. The pass from Kemp when he was doubled and then tripled himself. Found the open man, and Detlef has 20. It's a 6-point Rockets lead. Sonics have whittled 7 points off the 13-point Bulls with a 7-0 run. Seattle has outscored Houston 17-12 in this period. Bull within 6.
Only 4 Sonics have scored tonight. Here they go to Kemp in the low post. Watch carefully. Right there, hold it. He's surrounded. He's going nowhere, but he does the right thing. Detlef Shrimp lines up a 3 behind the line, nails it, gets them within 6. Perkins 0 for 3, Hawkins 0 for 2, Cummings 0 for 3. Someone's got to come alive of those 3 to get them back in the game.
Trailing by 6. Barkley handling, defended by Kemp. Millions of dollars in that matchup. Eddie Johnson. This is from beyond the arc, and the Sonics have a chance to cut into the Rockets' lead even further. Shrimp. That was too easy. He has 20 points, including that last 3, and the little uncontested 10-footer on the baseline didn't cause him a problem. Now you see Hawkins applying some moderate pressure on Matt Maloney. Going to Charles, second time in a row for the double. Bad pass. Corralled by Ellie with 7 on the shot clock.
Big possession. Better get up on him. Better get up on him.
Barkley hit the side of the backboard. Terry Cummings. Charles with the rebound. Barkley has 13 rebounds tonight. He's only 2 of 8 from the field, however. Struggling offensively.
You know, you look at all these great players, you say, how can they miss these shots? But it happens so frequently in playoff basketball. Fatigue starts to enter into it. And a club just, you can't believe that these players can miss these kind of shots.
You said sometimes you looked up and said, is this my team?
Yeah, exactly.
Payton with a ball fake and a lay-in off the pass. Nice play by Seattle. It is a 4-point Rockets lead. 9-0 run.
And the Houston Rockets are having a hard time getting into offensive position, walking up the floor.
And going to Barkley in this half-court set. And he draws the foul as he leans in. Kemp came to double, but I think Kemp got him. Shrimp came down to apply the double team pressure. Yeah, it's on Shawn Kemp, and that'll be his second.
This is some play by Barkley. He's working, knows he can't get the shot off. Watch carefully, bangs into him, and Kemp is forced to foul him. A very tough call for the official. Shawn Kemp shaking his head. No, no, no.
Charles is 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight, shooting 67% from the line in the playoffs. There is his number. So you see 2 for 8 from the field, but he has made his presence known rebounding. Something he's been struggling with, averaging 7 a game in this series. And the Chevrolet scoreboard. First game tonight, Miami even that series at 1 apiece behind Tim Hardaway's great play, 88-84. Remember, right after the game, Jim Lynam joins Vince. I can't say Vince anymore because of virtual. I keep wanting to call him Ventural.
Virtual Bob.
Ventural Virch. You get the idea. Virtual reality, it's something Bill Gates probably makes some money off of, too.
More than likely.
69-63 Houston. Penetration by Payton. Cummings with a ball fake in the drive. 10 on the shot clock, all the way out to Shawn Kemp. Now, if you design that, you say, let's see, Payton will penetrate. We'll give it to Cummings. He'll do likewise. We'll get the perimeter shot from Shawn Kemp.
Well, Payton working the baseline, kicking it out, and Cummings again, reluctant shooter, kicked it over. They got a big outside basket from Kemp.
8 on the shot clock. Willis way away from the basket. 5, 4. Tough shot for Kevin Willis, but he's fouled. That's 3 on Cummings.
This is a tough play because tough to defend Willis when he's banging you that far out. There's Shawn Kemp. Watch Barkley. Oh, no, not that shot after we worked so hard to get that clock down.
Rockets by 4, 3:15 to go in the period. And that's going to be 3 on Gary Payton.
That was just an aggressive foul. And he reached up and under. These 2 fouls have been very interesting, particularly the one on Willis out on the floor when he's banging so hard. I don't know what you do in terms of pushing off. I guess you've got to use that forearm, but he's so strong on the back end. In this case, this is just Payton working and doing what he can do with the quick hands, trying to flick it away defensively.
Willis numbers in the playoffs, 9.5 and 5.5. Willis has struggled from the free throw line, though. He's only 9 of 16 coming into the game. Rockets by 5, 3:05 to go in the third period. Payton, who's played, correct me if I'm wrong, every minute of this game. I don't think he's been out at all.
You won't see him out of this game.
Illegal defense is the call.
Payton keeps trying to probe the defense, and they've been very effective when they've been down and run a pick and roll, particularly the right side. He's able to come off wide open. I sense that they'll have to go back to it to try to get him a shot. I think in the last quarter you'll see more of it.
Hou Sea Hawkins, who hasn't missed a free throw in the playoffs, takes this technical. He's 15 out of 15.
Hasn't had many shots tonight.
That's his first point of the night. Drexler and the Dream on the bench. Drexler has 4 fouls. Want to post up Kemp. Facing Barkley. Pushed out of bounds. Foul on Charles. That'll be 2.
Here's Kemp. He knows what he wants to do with the ball. Facing. He's going to go baseline. Charles gives him a little push, rides him out of bounds, has to make a call. There's no force out. In the old days, it used to be force out. No longer. It's got to be a foul, one way or the other.
Rockets have cut a one-time. The Sonics have cut a one-time Rockets lead of 13-3 here in this third period.
Shawn Kemp, a 74% shooter during the regular season, 72% career.
22 for Shawn tonight. 2-point Rockets lead. Here's that pressure on Maloney. Eddie Johnson That's money. 10-footer, 72-68, Rockets by 4. Maloney, the key to that, I guess, on the double is getting rid of it at the right time for Matt. And he did that time.
Swing it over, you'll get a wide open shot.
Playing off of Wingate. He's going to go take it right down the lane. You can't play off David Wingate that far.
No, and he's a slashy player. He prefers to go to the basket rather than shoot it outside.
Wingate has 8 points tonight, 3 out of 4. With a couple of rebounds.
Wingate forcing Maloney to back out. Gotta watch him on the cut. They got him one time tonight. Here we go back to the same matchup.
4 on the shot clock. Eddie Johnson followed it, almost tipped his own shot in. Wingate runs it down. Everybody bailing, but Cummings stepped out of bounds.
Discouraging when you work that hard on a possession, get the miss, defensive rebound, and then lose it by throwing it out of bounds or stepping out of bounds.
That was a chance for the Sonics had they maintained possession to tie this game with 1:50 to go in the third. Now the crossover again from Maloney.
I keep talking about it, but there's a defensive philosophy of the Sonics. They give up the middle of the floor.
Willis. Kemp out of bounds off Willis. Seattle ball. A lot of opportunities there for Houston. Nobody could get it to go down. Not Eddie Johnson, not Willis. And Payton is back quickly. Fouled on the drive.
In the attack mode, wheels in 180, gets baseline, goes up, makes sure he holds it long enough for contact to get to the free throw line.
Mario Elichuk picked up his 4th personal foul on that play.
Last 2 games, he's been in foul trouble both nights and hasn't been effective.
That's a 1-point Rockets lead. A chance now to tie. Ellie sits down with his 4. Perkins comes back in the game. Kemp sits down. Eric Snow also checking into the game. Eric Snow is the second-year player out of Michigan State, a guard who's played just a few minutes in these playoffs. Payton has 21. Crowd on their feet. It's tied at 72. Willis didn't know he was all alone. He had space for the jump hook. Maloney down, but he's fouled.
That aggressive half-court trap. They come and trap the ball and rotate, and this is what they do so well, at least better than anyone in the league. And they live and die by it.
First personal on Snow. Matt Maloney goes to the free throw line.
You know, Bob, interestingly enough, he misses the free throw, but interestingly enough, a lot of clubs would like to do that. I don't think they have quite that kind of personnel. You better have some real quickness and athletic people in the back line that are consistent 40-minute players.
Maloney, an 88% free throw shooter in the playoffs, misses them both. A chance for the Sonics to take the lead.
And Sean Kemp getting a big rest, goes out at 127. He'll get the 127 plus the whole quarter and be ready to go in the 4th quarter.
Seattle last led 2 times late in the 2nd quarter by a point, and they lead by 2, their biggest lead of the game. Under a minute to go on the 3rd.
Gary Payton's penetration, finding Cummings on the baseline, wide open.
Barkley missing badly. He was left alone for that shot. Barkley's 2 of 9 tonight. Payton isn't missing. That's a triple for Payton. He has 24. A 5-point Sonics lead.
And they have seized the momentum by sheer effort, hard work, intensely defensively.
They've made up an 18-point deficit. They were down 13 and now lead by 5. Maloney's runner in the lane. 20 seconds in the period.
They'll work for 1, which was the right thing to do, but I think they had transition possible basket.
Perkins with the pick for Payton. He split the defenders for the lay-in with 3.5 seconds to go in the period. Houston in disarray at the moment. That's the end of the quarter. Rockets led by 11 at the half, built it to 13, and they now trail by 7. Sonics close the quarter on a 25-5 advantage.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Welcome back to Seattle. Key Arena, 17,072. It appeared as though the Houston Rockets were in control of this game early in the third period, but they managed only 17 points, giving up 35 to Seattle, and now they trail 79-72.
There was a big reason. Gary Payton scoring 13 points in the third quarter, 26 for the game, even though he struggled out of the gate.
Hakeem Olajuwon with that rebound. He has 8. There's 25-5 in the last 6.5 minutes. Drexler back on the floor. He's carrying 4 fouls. Hakeem's playing up front with Kevin Willis. It's Threet and Maloney. Maloney, that's a triple. His third tonight.
Sonics go to the double team on Hakeem. They kick it out, swing the ball. They probably do it as well as anybody in the league. Wide open shot from Maloney.
Sonics by 4, looking for Perkins, being defended by Willis. Down deep, 3-0. Jack Mee says, I've got the call. Now he's calming down George Karl. 10:58 to go in this ball game, and Rudy T realizes that his team was in control of this game.
Well, they had key guys get into some foul trouble, put them on the bench, save them for this quarter, and Payton took over the game.
There's a double team on Perkins this time. Wanted to get it to Snow, couldn't make the pass. Shot clock to 5. That's a tough fadeaway. Hawkins steals a rebound.
Going to Perkins is very tough against Willis because Willis's strength won't allow Perkins to back in or even get to the hook shot. But a great Hawkins, quiet tonight, big one.
That was his first field goal. Maloney missing, Willis rebounding. We're going to get a foul, a loose ball foul called against the Seattle Sonics.
How about this? Payton getting to the basket. Sean Kemp facing, nails a long one, and then Detlef Schrempf, a deadly 3. And that 3, I thought, changed the momentum in the third quarter.
That foul was on Percy Hawkins, his second. 10:19 to go in the game. 6-point Sonics lead. Mario Elie has to be on the bench because he's carrying 4 personals. Maloney, his 4th triple of this game. And Maloney has 16. He's 6 of 15 from the floor.
And they're going to have to adjust the defense. If they're going to continue to double, he will continue to make those shots. They've got Elie sitting on the bench also who can make that shot if he cools.
Maloney only averaging 15 points a game in the playoffs. Already above that tonight. Payton's little hook shot doesn't go. Cummings tries to save it. Futile attempt to save it. We have a timeout on the floor. It'll be Houston ball, trailing by 3 with 9:43 to go, and the series tied at 1 game each. Time for Dutch Boy in the paint with 9:43 to go in this game. Just a reversal on the field goal percentages from the first half to the second, even more than a reversal, actually. There are the numbers on the big 3, 22, 26, and 20. And you usually hear the big 3 in reference to Olajuwon, Barkley, and Drexler. Not tonight. It's been Seattle's big 3.
Look right here. There was Hakeem on the box, double team. This is typical Houston basketball in basketball of the 90s. Penetration by Drexler, swings it to the weak side. Nobody there to play him. Maloney hits 4 of those. They're going to have to adjust, but I think they're going to keep doubling Hakeem and see if they can keep making that 3 on the weak side.
All right, Rockets will have the ball down by 3 points. Going to have full court pressure by Seattle. Barkley on the bench.
They love to do this out of halftime or a timeout.
Now Maloney will handle with Gary Payton switched over to defend Maloney now. Drexler. Beautiful move in the paint.
Takes Detlef off the dribble, reverses, and gets the shot right at the foul line.
14 for Clyde Drexler tonight. Houston led by 13 midway in the third quarter. Sonics now by 1 with 9:10 remaining. Kemp between his legs, pull-up jumper like a guard. 24 for Sean.
And Willis complaining to Danny Crawford, there's your double team to try to keep him out of that post up. Now they come back and play straight up. They'll go to Willis. Let's see if there's a double team.
Maloney to Drexler, only 6 on the shot clock. Back into Olajuwon. There's that turnaround baseline, a little flat through the front edge of the iron.
And kind of an inadvertent play, a foul maybe by Olajuwon. Cummings reluctant, but not this one.
Well, Olajuwon was involved on the other end of the court. That gave Cummings the open look. Sonics back by 5.
They want to keep the ball on the left-hand side of the floor. That's why they double, forcing it back to the right side.
There it is. They tried to go left twice. They also give it a little middle. Kevin Willis. Drexler up there with Sean Kemp battling for the rebound. They say it's out of bounds off Seattle. It'll be Houston ball. 34-year-old Clyde Drexler leading an assist, battling for boards. Reed the kick out to Olajuwon.
Can't leave him. Cummings can't afford to help. Again, the middle of the floor. When they don't double on this left side, they're trying to take away the outside and allowing the middle of the floor, and it's happening for the Rockets. They're getting back in the game.
22 points for Olajuwon, and that, by the way, is his high for the playoffs. Look at Drexler.
A little wild.
He's got 5.
And he's done it for so many years, taking the ball end to end. This time, my sense is, without seeing it, it is a charge.
Well, he had a word for Jim Clark. Drexler will have to sit down with 7:37 to go.
More than a little upset. Detlef moving backwards. Didn't exactly establish position, but had no way to go. And I think it was a charge all the way.
Ellie is back in, carrying 4 personal fouls himself. So it's 3 guards on the floor for Houston with Olajuwon and Willis.
They're going to try to work Detlef on Ellie. He's got size. Ellie's got good strength. Cummings hesitating.
Look at the follows. Back tip from Olajuwon, but into the hands of Payton. 3-point Sonics lead. 7:11 to go in the game. Kemp is fouled by Willis or Olajuwon. He got right between both of them. Inside the NBA comes up right after this game. Vince Cellini will be in our studios in Atlanta with former coach Jim Lynam. That's second personal on Kevin Willis.
Sean Kemp on the last play, working the middle of the lane, going right, somewhat out of control. If he doesn't get fouled, I'm not sure what kind of a shot he could get up.
How about Sean Kemp tonight? We say he needs to, we said early, he needs to get to the line about 10 times. 10 for 10.
He works at it, takes the hits, misses the free throw.
7:06 to go in the game. Sonics lead it by 3. Rudy Tomjanovich saw his team with a 13-point lead in the third period. They're now down. He missed them both, but Schrempf slid inside and got the rebound. There's only one big guy on that side, and it was Olajuwon. Payton saves it. Schrempf. Look at Cummings from the weak side. Stepped in front of Barkley.
Not a pass. Think it was a shot. Definitely was a shot. Cummings, right time, right place.
Seattle by 5. Barkley only 2 of 9 tonight. Waited for the double team. Ellie let it slip right out of his hands. 3 on the shot clock. Barkley with a prayer. Kemp missed the jam, but he drew the foul. Sedale 3. Timeout on the floor. Barkley struggling with his offense tonight.
Heat next Monday at 8. Get the NBA playoffs on TNT.
5-point Seattle lead, 6:22 remaining in this ball game. Charles Barkley, I said he was struggling from the field. He hasn't scored a basket from the floor in this half. He's only 2 of 10 in the game. There's the not matchup, but there are the 2 power forwards.
Kept having a huge game, but these games get down to a test of will. Shots not going, sheer effort. We saw a great example of Kemp on the last play, rebounding, defending, getting out and filling the lane, and now going to the free throw line.
6 minutes, 22 seconds. In game 3 of the Western semis between Seattle and Houston. Last year, the Sonics knocked Houston out, sweeping them in 4. Houston has never beaten Seattle in a playoff series. Houston with a home court advantage, despite the fact that both these teams won 57 games because of a win differential in the regular season against Seattle. And now it is a 7-point Sonics lead with 6:20 remaining in the game. Drexler with 5 fouls is going to get back in here. They need his points and his handling. Olajuwon, quick double team. Ellie was fouled on the drive. Schrempf got him. And he has 4. And Dick Versace, what do you have for us?
Well, I just got out of George Karl's huddle. You know, Chuck Daly has been talking all night about how the Sonics are trying to take away the left side. So what George was talking about was, look, gentlemen, he says, I want you to pressure, but don't give up penetration. Back to the table.
They weren't able to do it on the last play, and took the foul.
Drexler back in and hits the 3. What a timely substitution by Rudy Tomjanovich, taking a gamble, putting the star Drexler in the game with 5 fouls. He comes in and gets the big 3. Sonics by 4. Cummings fouled by Olajuwon. That'll be his 3rd.
Cummings, a veteran play, getting the basket, knowing he had no shot or no way to get a shot off, leans in and makes sure he gets the foul. Keep watching as they come down on the left side, trying to go to Akeem. They'll try to double team and force it back to the right. But what they're doing, obviously the Houston Rockets have looked at film, they're giving the middle of his floor, and they'll take advantage of it. Cummings misses the first of 2.
Team foul situation. The Rockets have committed 3 team fouls. The Sonics 2 with 5:39 to go in the game. Cummings misses them both. Rebound by Drexler. Playing with 5. Sonics 4-point lead.
Trying to get to the left side. Get it to Akeem. See if they can establish the double team and swing it and get this wide open shot. Take him off the dribble.
Ellie for the run. He's fouled in the paint. And that will be the 4th. No, make it the 3rd Sonics team foul. Now both teams with 3 team fouls.
Watch carefully. They try to get the ball into the left side. They get it to Akeem. Here, hold it right there. There's the double team. Watch where he goes with the ball. Swings it back out to the top. Watch carefully. Fakes it. Then they come and they get in the lane because the middle of the floor is open.
Mario Ellie hits the free throw. He's 3 of 3 from the line. Has no field goals in this game.
Perkins coming back in. May change the coverage. They may go straight up on Akeem next time down.
Cummings just picked up his 4th personal on that play, so he goes to the bench. Sonics now by 2 points. This is going to be, not that it hasn't already been, a good one. 5 minutes to go, 2-point differential, and tied at 1 game apiece.
Remember, Drexler has 5.
Not Schrempf's shot. Easy for me to say. Olajuwon with the rebound to Matt Maloney, and a chance for the Rockets to tie. Olajuwon against Perkins. Open man Maloney. That's 5 threes tonight for Matt Maloney. He has 19 points.
A little unsure of coverage there. They were almost straight up coming on the dribble, but got out to Maloney, and he delivered.
Kemp, look at him back in Olajuwon. Missed it. Back tip by Olajuwon. Ends up in the hands of Seattle. Rockets by a point. 4:27 remaining. Ellie with 4 fouls on Peyton. Got a little loose on him, and that's the left hand, thank you.
Not the right, the left.
28 for the glove. Sonics by a point.
Every pass will be challenged, every shot and every rebound will be a man's game.
And Olajuwon is fouled after he's doubled by Perkins. Hou Sea Hawkins dropped down in there and drew the foul.
There's a kick out. Maloney's set. When he kicks in that right foot, bang. Take a look at, here's Gary Payton backing in, working left hand, floater. All-star guard, wide open three.
Ellie missing it. Barkley kept it alive. Now with the rebound, Barkley up strong. Missed the basket, but he drew the foul and will go to the line. Credit Barkley with some tough inside play on that possession.
But, yeah, watch him inside. He's got the position. Kemp almost steals the rebound. Barkley staying with it, pounds it in. Oh, wants it to drop. And he struggled to complete those baskets, which he would have done a year ago.
3:50 to go in the game. That was Kemp's third, and team is now in the penalty, Seattle. So Houston will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. Barkley missing. Sharpen your sword. Prepare to do battle. Take on Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bridget Nielsen in Red Sonja. Tonight after Inside the NBA on TNT. With all that virtual reality, who knows? Vince may be in that movie. Barkley gets one of them. It's tied at 91.
Barkley, a 69% shooter on the free throw line. Now it comes down to execution. George Karl wants an illegal defense.
Ellie on Peyton. Shrem kicks to Perkins. 7 on the shot clock. Ball fake. Barkley runs down the long rebound. He has 15 boards tonight, does Charles, despite struggling from the floor with only 9 points and 2 of 10 shooting. Look at the pass from Maloney inside. Olajuwon over here in the expensive seats. Seattle ball. It's a great pass. Ellie now trying to pressure Hawkins, then Peyton. Maloney on Hawkins.
Maloney really working defensively, not as quick as either Hawkins or Peyton.
Kemp blocked by Olajuwon. That's his second block tonight. Olajuwon also has 4 steals. Timeout, Houston. Game tied at 91. 2:54 remaining. Back to the playoffs. 17,072 here in the revamped, rebuilt, $85 million worth Key Arena in Seattle. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Game tied at 91. Houston has a foul to give. Seattle doesn't. Both have 3 fulls and a 20. Well, this is why we pay the big price for a ticket, Chuck.
You're exactly right, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. Up the other end, I think they're going to look to go to Shrem a little bit more. You'll see some hellacious defense right now by the Sonics.
Barkley isolated against Kemp. Shot clock at 8. Double team. Barkley gets in. Kemp got a piece of it. What defense by Sean Kemp. Barkley wanted a foul, but none was coming. 2:35 to go. Tied at 91.
Here they're going to play a 2-man game. They're going to screen for Shrem. Shrem comes the ball wide open.
And then after they had to follow, Kemp was wide open, and Barkley fouls him. That's 3 on Charles.
Miscommunication on the cross. Dennis Shrem wide open. Actually had the shot, but looked across, dumped it inside. And here we go. Sean Kemp, a 74% shooter from the free throw line during the course of the season.
He's 12 of 14 tonight. That's so significant when Sean Kemp gets now will be 15 and 16 free throw attempts. 13 he's made.
Both coaches on edge. Crucial game. Rockets trying to steal.
28 points for Sean Kemp tonight. Sonics by 2 points.
Here they'll turn out on the left side, try to get the ball to Keem, draw the double team.
Quick spin inside, and the foul comes. Kemp, by the way, has his playoff high for this year, 28 points. Previously, he had 27.
Perkins twice tonight has given up baseline on that double team, and it's been crucial.
And now Keem goes to the free throw line, where tonight he is 6 out of 6. And Keem is 77% shooter in the playoffs, as you see. 7 out of 7 here. It's a chance for the Dream to tie it. What a game. Most people thought this would be the closest, possibly of all the playoff series between Houston and Seattle, and could go 7 games. After Houston really controlled game 1, I questioned that a bit, and now it's starting to look more and more like that prediction could be true. Keem has 24.
Here's the same play, screen across for Detlestrem to try to free him up on Drexler, who has 5.
Good call, Chuck. Turnaround by Tremp. Olajuwon with the board. A chance now for the Rockets to regain the lead with under 2 minutes to go. Houston led by 13 in the third quarter.
Detlestrem settling for a fadeaway jumper, shot that he can hit.
Ellie's runner. He kicks it out. Detlef Schrempf steps in front of the errant pass. And a chance for the Sonics to have the lead. Minute and a half to go in the game.
Here they're going to go. Looks like pick and roll. Kemp and Payton. He can come off wide open.
Payton ran into Olajuwon, had to pass it out. 5 on the shot clock. Tremp driving past Drexler with 5. Open man is Kemp. Rebound. Good block out there by Matt Maloney to enable Clyde Drexler to grab the board. And now the Rockets have the opportunity for the lead as we near 1 minute remaining in this game 3 of the Western Conference semis.
Turn out left side. Go to Hakeem.
Punched away, long arms. Under a minute to go. Wave off that basket because there was a timeout called by Seattle with 51.5, and it's tied at 93.
Here in the virtual studio, proving once again I am uncoachable. I'm with Jimmy Lynam tonight on Inside the NBA, and coming up on the show after our game, boy, Timmy Hardaway really making some noise against the Knicks in Miami. Also tonight, we'll wrap up that Rockets and Sonics game for you. And we'll hear from the source, Mrs. Karl Malone, telling us about the mailman. We'll see you after the game. Let's go back to Bob and Chuck.
All right, it's down to it here. 51-5 to go, tied at 93 moments ago. Let's enter the Seattle huddle.
You go back and get him. You come back and get Flair. Okay? You and Sam, here, he's going to flare. Sam's going to flare here. If he doesn't, you don't get the point you don't have here, he's going to come back to you.
Interpretation, Chuck?
Sam Perkins looking to flare and try to get to Payton. The problem is that the other club has something to say about it defensively. Here's what they're going to do. Pick and roll. He's going to step out and flare. Try to get him a shot.
5 on the shot clock. Ellie defending the Payton shot. It goes over the backboard. And with 34 seconds left, nobody has scored since 2 Kemp free throws at the 2:13 mark, and we're down to 34 seconds. Now this is important. Rockets 2 turnovers in the last 35 seconds.
No timeout. They're going to go after it, but Seattle will get a possession.
10 on the shot clock. Big bucket from Clyde Drexler. Rockets by 2. Timeout, Seattle. Clyde Drexler with a very large bucket, thank you, has 19 points.
The whole Rocket bench out on the floor. Very unusual. Drexler went to the post up, faded away, but he can hit that tough shot. Let's take a look at it. Here's Drexler facing. Starts to go to the lane. reverses, backs in, steps away. Detlef Schrempf, hand there, but not good enough.
Clyde, 7 points in the fourth quarter, 19 in the games, and you see the bench saying, this is why you're here, Clyde. You're the man. Charles is the man. Hakeem's the man. Whoever's got the ball at that point's the man. 2-point Rockets lead, 18.5 to go. There's the game reset with the timeout situation on the screen. And remember now, the Houston Rockets were not all that intimidated coming here to Seattle because they had split with Seattle here in Washington in the regular season and had the best road record in the Western Conference.
And both of these clubs, very tough mindset. Both can play the D. They know where to go offensively. And you see, we talked about it earlier today. I told you tonight would be the start of the series, and we've seen it.
Let's talk about Houston's defense a little bit, which really got them that lead earlier in the game.
Well, here's what deterred the play. Ellie took Payton away, and it took so much time off the clock. There was only 19 to start with. And now Payton starting to come off the pick and roll by Perkins. Starts inside, can't get anything, has to come back, knows the clock. Now he's going to fade away a very tough shot for a right-hander.
And then Drexler came down and hit the shot that gives the Sonics the lead. And Chuck, you said when your point guard has to take too many shots, it means the clock's running down. Was that an example?
Well, that was an example, but he had no choice because Ellie did such a good job of taking seconds off the clock.
Seattle has scored only 14 points in the fourth period. Only 5 of 20 from the floor in the fourth period.
What the Seattle Sonics are going to try to do here, they're going to double down for Payton. Let him come to get the ball. Looks like the important thing is you've got to get the ball in. That's the tough part. Here he comes to double down to get the ball. Now they're going to play with it.
15 seconds in the game. Shot clock's off. Kemp working against Olajuwon. Blocked it. Barkley comes away with the ball. Fouled in the backcourt with 6.5. That says it all right there. The look of Charles Barkley's face. Charles will go to the free throw line, where tonight he is 5 out of 6.
What a great defensive play. You try to go one-on-one on Hakeem Olajuwon. He is one of the great defensive centers, particularly on a play like this. There's no way to get the shot off. This is his third block.
To go with 4 steals for Olajuwon tonight and 24 points and 11 rebounds. What more do you need to say about that? Barkley with big free throws here. 5 out of 6 from the line tonight. 67% in the playoffs. Money. Now Houston's on the verge of stealing one as Seattle took game 2 in Houston. Rockets are about to regain the serve. It wasn't pretty, but it fell, and it's a 4-point lead. That was tremendously big, that free throw. 4-point lead for the Rockets with 6.5 seconds remaining in this game. How about this? Since Hakeem switched over to guard Shawn Kemp in the last 7 minutes, no field goals for Kemp. Hakeem Olajuwon, our Bud player of the game, 24 points, 11 boards, 4 steals, 3 blocks. Drexler and Olajuwon brought him back. 6.5 seconds. Down by 4. Kemp. And that's the end of the ball game, and the Rockets get one back here in Seattle. They lead 2 games to 1. The silence is deafening here at Key Arena. 97-93 Houston. The Rockets trailed by 7 points, 89-82, with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this game, and Olajuwon and Drexler bring them back. Houston outscores Seattle 25-15 in the fourth quarter. Chuck, you said it all starts tonight. Houston dominated game 1, Seattle game 2. Both coaches, all the players had a chance to get adjusted. Wham, bam, we come back and see this. What does this say to you about, well, first let's go to Dick Versace and Clyde Drexler.
I got a very happy Clyde Drexler here. Take us through that game-winning shot.
Tough situation. Rudy called the play from it. We thought we had an isolation. They were coming to double. I didn't see anyone, so I had to make a quick move, and it happened to work out. But I think the big defensive stop by Akeem, that was the game winner, I thought. Great defensive job on Kemp, who had been virtually unstoppable all night.
Very gracious of you. 7.5 minutes left in the ball game. You had your 5th foul. They kept you in the ball game.
Well, I told Rudy I hadn't fouled out all season long, so the chances of me fouling out are pretty slim. So Rudy had a little confidence, and I'm glad he did, and it happened to work out.
It's been 10 years since the Rockets have won a playoff game here in Seattle.
Well, I tell you, we've done a pretty good job against this team, and we're hoping to continue that throughout the playoffs, and I don't see why we shouldn't. They're a very good team. Give them a lot of credit. Every game is going to be a dogfight, but this is a lot of fun.
Clyde, you guys came out with unbelievable energy levels in the first half. I thought you waned some in the third. Looked like your legs were getting tired. Not you, everybody.
I thought, for the most part, when you have a team down, they're going to come back, and that's exactly what they did. So it's nip and tuck all the way, and in the end, we're able to pull it out. Just a great victory on the road.
You still haven't lost a step.
Well, not yet, Dick. I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, Clyde. Thank you. All right, back to the table.
97-93, the Houston Rockets get the victory. Clyde Drexler, class man and a tremendous clutch basketball player. Rudy Tomjanovich said before the game, hey, we've been down before. We were down with miraculous comebacks when we won the championships in 95 and 94 and 95. It doesn't necessarily say that we won't come back again here. Chuck, I was about to ask you as we went away there, after game 1 dominated by Houston, game 2 Seattle wins. Now we've had game 3. What does it say about the series as we look down the road?
Well, it looks to me like a 7-game series because you've got 2 great basketball teams. May turn out to be the best series of the entire playoffs, in my opinion. You've seen tenacious defense on both ends, both clubs struggling to find ways to score. Hakeem has been the difference because he can get that double team, and the 3-point shot for Houston showed up in the second half.
Great character exhibited by both of these teams. Houston takes a 2-1 lead. Sunday on NBC, they'll play game 4. We'll be down in Houston on Tuesday for game 5 back at Houston. Could go 7. We'll be right down the road with you on the playoffs on TNT.